What's good with y'all, man? Been MIA for a little minute, but you know how I go. I pop up right when the time is right, man. I pop up right when the time is necessary. So just kind of want to get something on my chest. I hope you've been, focusing in on you in this season of shedding. The year of the snake, man. Getting rid of everything that no longer serves you, man. It serves you no benefit. And just, allowing yourself to go through the emotions. You know what I'm saying? Feel the emotions, man, without identifying with it, like, if that makes sense. I ain't trying to confuse you or anything like that, but we're in the season of shedding, man, in the season of letting go of things that have been hindering us and holding us back. So I hope you've been putting you first, man, focusing in on you, your mental health, your physical and spiritual well-being, man, and, eating healthy and things like that as well, man. I'm gonna always add that in there, but we in them times, bro. We in the 5D, bro. Like, real deal, like, this the year, man, for real, bro. Like, it ain't no more talking that's even need to be had, bro. We in the period of just doing, and it's like being in a free flow state, being one with the Creator, getting in tune with the divine, bro, letting things flow and play out the way that it's supposed to. The period of forcing things and like trying to force your way to like manifest things or force things to happen for you in a specific manner, that shit is over with, bro. Because what's destined for you was destined for you, and it's going to play out and it's going to happen the way that it's supposed to. And in order for you to receive that, you got to just be able to accept things for what it is. You can't over-identify yourself with certain events, certain people exiting your life, certain people doing or saying certain things to you. You can't get too attached to it. People going to do what they want to do at the end of the day. People going to say what they want to say at the end of the day. You have to come to an understanding and realization that nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you and for your benefit. So if somebody says something rude, take it as a sign, bro. It's a reflection of yourself. You probably once used to think that way. You probably once used to treat people the same way. What you put out, you get back. And it always happens unexpectedly. So look at things from an observation standpoint and try to see God in everything and everyone, because every person is a reflection of God. And that kind of leads me to my next point. With everyone being a reflection of the Most High, a physical manifestation of God itself in the human form, which we all are, it just goes to show you that there's no right or wrong way to do anything. There's no right or wrong way to live life in general. We won't put here with no set of rules. People could try to say the Bible. People could try to say the Quran. People could try to say this and that. But truth be told, man wrote that stuff, bro. We came out the womb before the conditioning, before the programming. We was a free spirit as kids. We wanted to explore everything. We wanted to put things into our mouths. We wanted to pick things up. We wanted to play in the dirt. We wanted to pick bugs up and pick worms up. We wanted to walk barefoot. We were just happy to be alive before all the conditioning, before all the brainwashing, before all the programming that our parents put into us in society, schools, all of that stuff, bro. We were free spirits. We were guided in the highest form of expression, bro, which is to literally be free and live life how you want to, explore life the way that you see fit. And that's where we're at right now. And that's what I say. This is my next point. Becoming the highest form of expression, which is returning back to your childlike state. Living life with no limits. Living life with no regrets. Living life as a non-conformist. Not conforming to anything or anyone. You living life by your standards, because like I said, there's no right or wrong way to do anything. If you see God in everything and you see God in everyone, then God is literally showing you through every person that walks this planet that you can be whatever you want to be and you can do whatever you want, how you see fit. If you want to be a cocky, arrogant asshole in the back of a Maybach smoking a cigar with a suit on like Andrew Tate, you can do that. God is literally reflecting back to you that you can do that. He laid a blueprint out. If you want to live that type of life, all you got to do is study whatever field you want to enter in. Just study the people that's already living that life. It's a reflection of you, if it resonates with you. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like the highest form of expression is returning back to your childlike state. Becoming aware of thyself, that's the highest point of enlightenment that you can reach. Because we are awareness. You are not your thoughts. You are not this body and vessel. You are the observer of it. You know what I'm saying? You right here for the ride. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, once you come to a realization and understanding of that, it's like you can do whatever you want to do, bro, with no regrets. There is no set of rules. We wasn't put here with no book in place to say we're supposed to live life like this. If you do this, then that will happen. It's all about your beliefs, and it's most importantly about your faith, bro, and how your mind is wired and how it's set up. Whatever thoughts you entertain, that's what type of life you will live. Whatever belief system you have in place, that's what you would believe in. And your body just follows how you feel on a natural day-to-day basis anyway. So if you're not feeling right internal, then your external won't look like much either. So that's why it's important to just focus on you, man. Don't get too caught up in social media. Don't get too caught up in what other people are doing. Don't get too caught up in what nobody else is saying, bro. Because like I said, when you were a kid, you didn't give a fuck about none of that shit, bro. The only time you gave a fuck about what somebody else said is when consequences were put into your head behind certain behaviors or certain patterns. But before that, when people let you just be a kid, man, you had a free mind, you had a free spirit, and most importantly, you had control over your imagination. So nobody couldn't tell you that you couldn't do anything you wanted to do. The only time that belief came instilled within you was when somebody put that idea into your head and instilled that fear within you. And it became a subconscious habit. It became a subconscious trigger. And it molded you and shaped you into the person you are today. So like reaching true enlightenment, it's becoming aware of everything that you do. Subconsciously being aware of everything that you do, man. No longer running on autopilot. Seeing things for what they are. But most importantly, just enjoying the ride and enjoying the experience. You don't have to figure out what this thing is that we're living in. Because truth be told, you'll never figure it out. You can think you know. You can think you have it figured out. But truth be told, nobody really knows, bro. We all down here in a meat suit. That's one thing that is confirmed. Is that this body and vessel is not real, bro. Death is not real. Death is an illusion. You have to be able to observe death for it to be real in the first place. So how could death ever be real? Your point of awareness would just shift. But that's a topic for another discussion in itself, bro. That's a whole deeper subject than what it is I'm leading up to. The biggest message is just allow things to happen the way that it's supposed to happen. You can't control shit, man. You can't control how nobody else react. You can't control how nobody else respond. People can tell you they're going to be loyal. People can tell you they're going to be here to the end. But you can't control how the fuck they react. If they want to leave, let them. Same way you allowed the door, you left the door open for them to enter. Leave the door open for them to exit, however they see fit, man. You got to realize and understand. Some people just come around just to simply teach your ass a lesson, bro. Everybody in here, they stay along for the ride, bro. Everybody don't deserve your energy. Everybody don't deserve your presence, your true essence. Some people come around just to hold your ass back, man, whether you want to believe it or not. And that's why it's like my perspective on relationships and stuff have changed now, because it's like, bro, relationships take away from you at the end of the day. You got to sacrifice so much for a relationship to work. You got to take away so much from yourself in order for a relationship to work. It shit not even worth it in the end of the day, because you're sacrificing your well-being. You're sacrificing everything that you truly want to do to make somebody else happy. And it ain't even supposed to be like that. But it's like, I don't know, man. That relationship shit is a tricky topic and a tricky discussion in itself. Because it's like, truth be told, do you really, truly need a relationship? Or do you actually want one? What is a relationship going to, how is a relationship going to help benefit you? You know, besides sexual pleasure, besides having the opposite gender around you. But at the same time, y'all most likely not going to have the same beliefs. Y'all going to have different dreams. Y'all going to have different goals. So it's like, I don't know, bro. Like I said, that's a tricky topic and discussion in itself. Because like I said, you're sacrificing your time, you're sacrificing your energy from everything that you want to do. And it's like you never really truly know anyone's real intentions until about the 4 to 6 month mark. And that's a lot of time to be given to a person to really find out who they truly are as an individual, because you're going to go through the honeymoon phase every time you get in a relationship. It's going to be all sunshine and rainbows. They're going to be getting along. They're going to be the best of friends. And then you're going to start seeing parts of your partner that you've never seen before, you know, parts of themselves that they need to heal. Your partner are going to show and reveal parts of you that you need to heal. And that's when the tricky part comes into play, because it's like, it's going to cause a lot of fucking friction, bro. And it's like, it's necessary, but in the same breath, bro, that shit can be draining. Especially if one side chooses not to really heal them certain parts of themselves that they need to work on. And if you're someone that can see the mistakes that your partner is making, and you still love them anyway, bro, but you can't really necessarily, like, I mean, you can call them out on their shit, but that's another problem that shit causes in itself as well, bro. It's like, I don't know, man. I think being alone is really important, bro. It is. Like, have friends and stuff like that, but set boundaries and shit like that, bro, because everybody doesn't deserve your fucking energy, and everybody doesn't deserve your presence, bro. Like, plant the seed and keep it moving, bro. Serve your purpose in that moment and keep it moving, bro. Don't overextend yourself. Don't overextend your energy, your time, your knowledge. None of that shit, bro. Stop going out of your way to try to make people understand and see shit from your perspective, bro. It ain't your job to do that shit, man. Everybody is unique in their own way. Let people be themselves, bro. For real, for real. Focus on you, nigga. Like, focus on your damn self, man. You don't need to please nobody. You don't need to make nobody happy. The only person happiness that matters is your own, bro. Literally, man. If you allow somebody else to dictate how you feel, dictate your happiness, dictate who you are as an individual, you done gave them power over your life. You done gave them power over your reality. Because now they got control over your emotions. They got control over how the fuck you feel. So what they say and what they do gonna trigger you automatically because they have that power over you. But it's because you gave it to them, though. You let them determine and dictate how you feel on a day-to-day basis. Nobody should be able to. You should never like. Nobody is supposed to be your happiness. They're supposed to add to it, and they add to it by your choice of allowing them to add to it. Not by force, but by nature, man. So you gotta let people be themselves, bro. Observe everything, man. And then it's like I said, people gonna come and go. Things are gonna come and go. You have to be able to detach from this shit, man. Same way you detach from social media, detach from your clothes, detach from your car. Understand that none of this shit belongs to you. It's all a part of the human experience. This shit can be taken from you within a snap of a finger. But does that shit define who you are as a person? Does that shit take away from your happiness? Just existing and being alive is enough to give you the happiness and satisfaction that you are looking for. Appreciate the experience, bro. Appreciate the trees. Appreciate the blade of grass. Appreciate being able to breathe in fresh air. It's all a part of the human experience, bro. Be appreciative to just hear the birds chirping, bro. Because it's adding to your human experience, bro. The same way people add to your human experience. Same way me sitting in this chair is adding to my human experience, bro. Everything, bro. Gratitude is your greatest superpower. Because we are God, bro, having a human experience. Every person and every vessel is an expression of God in a unique way and in a unique manner. That's why it's like, it's pointless to even try to wake people up. That's not your fucking job to wake nobody up. It's not your job to tell people, oh, you need to eat clean, you need to do this, that's not your job to do that shit. Because everybody wasn't put here to do that. If we was, what the fuck would even be the point of having this experience? If everybody was the same, there would be no point. That's the whole point of everybody being different. Everybody having a different opinion. Everybody having a different perspective. Everybody having a different point of awareness. Like, it's to show you, it's a reflection. This is the potential of what you could be doing if you wanted to go down that path. Every person you see, every person come across is a reminder of this is who you could be. All of your friends, your girlfriend, this is a reminder probably of who you used to be or who you could potentially become if you keep, heading down that path or doing what it is that you want to do or keep entertaining that shit. That could one day be you. That's why it's important to pay attention to what you watch and what you pay attention to on a daily, because you're setting your subconscious up for who you could potentially become. Your mind can't decipher what's real and what's fake. When you dreaming and you asleep, your mind, you think that shit real until you fucking wake up again. Because your point of awareness just shifts. But you were never asleep in the first place. That's a whole another topic and discussion within itself. I ain't trying to confuse nobody with saying that shit, but it's the truth though, bro. Your mind don't know what's real and what's fake. All it knows is what the fuck you feed it and what it's around all day. So it's gonna pick up on those habits, and it's gonna turn you into a person that resembles certain patterns. So your mind is always listening, bro. Your brain and your ego is always fucking listening. But you are not your ego. You are not your mind. You are God, and you are awareness, pure awareness. That's it, and that's all. Nothing more to it. You're not this body and vessel. You are not your thoughts. Stop reacting to every thought. You have the ability to choose what thoughts and shit you act on, what thoughts and shit that you entertain. And you can't sit here and tell me you don't, because you don't even know what your next thought is going to be. You ever want to put your brain on the spot and put your ego on the spot, ask yourself this question. I wonder what my next thought is going to be. And just sit with that for a moment, bro. Truth be told, you don't know what your next thought is. So the thoughts that you're having aren't even your own, bro. That's why it's important to follow and trust your intuition. Fuck the thoughts. Get out your head for a minute. Your brain is going to trick you, and it's going to lead you down the path of least resistance, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Your brain wants shit to be easy. It don't want shit that's going to create anything hard or anything that's going to create a type of resistance to what it is. Like, it just wants satisfaction. It wants to feel good. So it's going to look for any path or any pathway to achieve that shit, man. That's where laziness and procrastination comes into play at, because your brain is going to choose the easiest path every single time, bro. No matter how much discipline you want to have, there's no such thing as discipline, bro. That shit is an illusion. There's no such thing. You need better habits, bro. You want better results, create better habits, bro. Then watch shit start to change and shit for you, bro. It ain't about being disciplined. It's about setting better habits. Tricking the mind, bro, to create least resistance. You want to start reading more, leave a book on your bed. You feel what I'm saying? You want to go to the gym, lay your clothes out on the bed, bro. Put your shoes by the door. Like, make it impossible for you to not do these things. And you don't even have to, it doesn't even have to be like, bro, it's just simple shit, bro. Simple shit like that. But just live life, bro. Appreciate this shit for what it is, bro. Appreciate every moment and appreciate every experience. You can't stop trying to have so much control over shit. You don't have control over anything, bro. Except what the fuck that you do. You can't control nobody else. You can't control nobody else's reaction. You can't control how people treat you. You can't control none of that shit. You can only control what the fuck that you can do. You can control how you think. You can control how you treat people. All of that shit is just gonna reflect back to you anyway, because everything is a reflection, bro. Nothing can exist without your without your awareness. Without you being aware of it, it can't exist. And that's as simple as that's put. That's why you come across people all day, every day, and you'll never see them again, because they don't exist until the moment they come back into your present. They don't exist. That ex you haven't heard from in 3 years, and that you have yet to run across, she doesn't exist, because she's not in your reality. If you can't observe it and you can't see it with your 2 eyes, it doesn't exist. The same thing as the dream state. The moment you wake up, that dream and all them people in there, they no longer exist. They don't exist. So just knowing that alone, how the fuck could you ever think or imagine that death is real, bro? If you can't observe it, how can it be real, bro? Your point of awareness would just shift. Same way you wake up from a dream, all of them people within them dreams are just gone within a snap of a finger. Your point of awareness shifted from that dream back to this reality. So did you die in that dream? It's something to think about, bro. And just asking simple questions like that, it just starts on how you get to the point of pure awareness and pure enlightenment. True enlightenment is awareness becoming aware of thyself, bro. That's how you reach true enlightenment. Once you start looking at yourself and you're like, damn, whoa, I'm really here right now. Like, I'm in the body, I'm in the vessel. Like, that's when you start the process of reaching true enlightenment. But it ain't my job to teach you how to get there, bro. It's just my job to express myself the best way I know how, bro. Being God in the highest form of expression. That's my job. It's to just be me. If you resonate, you resonate. If you don't, you don't. I don't give a fuck. It's not my job. It's not for me to care what nobody else think. Because none of that shit matters anyway. There's nobody walking around with you all day except the observer. The one that's watching all this shit happen. Which is you. Which is me. Which is it. Sit on that for a minute, man. But my time here is up. Take care of yourself, man. Focus on yourself and do what the fuck you want to do, bro. But no limits and no regrets. Stop trying so hard. You just no need to try to do anything. This shit is already predestined for you in the first place. So what's gonna happen is gonna happen. Remember that and understand that. I love y'all, man. Peace.